Press the round button.
Yeah.
Press the red button.
Okay, welcome everybody. Good morning. Then Lamed Tes Amud Aleph. Lamed Tes.
Tes Amud Aleph.
And we're middle about the Orla and Klayim and Chuslaretz. That was the last subject. There was a statement in a brisa that said that Orla is halacha. Question if it was halacha Moshe Messina or halacha Medina. And the question was if both of them are halacha Medina only Rabbanan, so how come it says Safek Orla in Chuslaretz is more chomer than Safek Kalayim and Chuslaretz? One place it says Lokeach, Yod V'Lokeach. One says Yod V'Lokate. Yod V'Lokeach means that he could buy from a field that he knows there's Orla over there. He just doesn't know which one it is. He goes to a field or orchard that has a Kalayim growing over there, or Orla growing over there also. And he tells the guy to bring out some fruit, and he doesn't know which tree he got it from. It's mutter. And that's by Orla. Klai Kerem seemed to be more lenient. Yod V'Lokate. That he even could pick it as long as, and Rashi says even if he as long as he doesn't pick it himself. Rashi sounds like even if he knows, that doesn't even sound like a suffix a little bit. The way Rashi explains it, as long as he doesn't pick it up himself, it's okay. I'm a little confused because it does say suffix orla, suffix line. But anyway, that was the most kasha. You see that Orla is more chomer than Kalayim. And the more answer is that you're right, the gifts has to be changed. Either both of them are Yod V'Lokech or both of them are Yod V'Lokate. That there's no difference. According to Shmuel, there's no difference. According to Avrohom, Orla is more chomer because Orla is Allah Moshe Messina, it's the Raisa, and Kalayim in Chuslaretz is Drabbana. The Gemara is going to expand about this. We're on to the fourth line. Lamed Tes Amud Aleph. My bread Rabbanan Masnid Al Kula, said was the Yod V'Lokate, the Vachel Yokol B'Yad. So really, continuation of yesterday. I should have gone a few lines further yesterday. That Shmuel just said that the Gersa should be consistent. Either both of them Lokeach or both of them Locate. My bread Rabbanan happened to have the Gersa of Lokula, that both of them Yod V'Lokate, and as long as he doesn't take it by himself. So that's continuation of the Gemara before. That it is true that both of them are consistent according to Shmuel, but and the consistency is going to be both of them are lakula.
What's lakula?
Lakula means that you could even go into the field and the guy takes it, then you know that it's taking it as long as you don't take it yourself.
Oh.
That's what Rashi seems to say.
Oh, yeah.
I'm still confused because that's not going to suffer then. Just the thing that you didn't take it off the tree. I don't know. I didn't look into it. I don't know. But,
if you didn't see him do it, but
Rashi,
they're not all Orla.
But do you know which one he's taking?
No, I don't know.
Rashi before said at the bottom of the page, Yored or Goy V'Lokate Min HaKlayim Mamish U'Mochel L'Chaver, as long as the Chaver himself doesn't take it by hand. Okay, I need explanation over there. I don't have to.
Okay.
But the subject we're talking about is if Orla is Allah Moshe Messina, you are only Drabbana, Minhag, and Shmuel took the opinion that it's Milchus Medina, that it's not the Raisa, and Avrohom said that it is the Raisa. The Gemara continues, Amalei Levi to Shmuel, Aryoch, Sapech Li V'Ano Echol. Levi said to Shmuel, he called him Aryoch. Aryoch is a nickname for Shmuel. Some say that it has to do Aryoch Melech Halasor. And the pasuk it talks about the kings, the 4 kings against the 5 kings over there. One of them was Aryoch Melech Halasor, and some say Rem is maybe Shmuel is called that maybe because we don't pass like him by Yisurim, Lo Yisur, but Lasor. This pshat and why Shmuel is called Aryoch, but that's a nickname for Shmuel. Sapekli v'ano echel. Supply me and I'll eat. So we said that Safek Orla is mutter. Before we said that even if you hold that it's chomer, even if you hold that the Orla is more chomer, and you can't know if you know the guy is taking it, you can't eat it. But if you don't know, the guy comes out of the orchard and he brings one of the fruits from one of the trees. You don't know which one it is. So Safek Orla and Chuslaretz is mutter. Here, Shmuel, Levi seems to tell Shmuel that even the Jew could go and take it. Shmuel, he tells Shmuel, go into the field. There are some trees over there, some are Orla, some are not. You to pick off the tree and bring it over here. I don't know which one you got it from, and I'll be able to eat it. So not only if a guy brings it out, if a Jew brings it out also, since you don't know which one it's from, maybe I don't know if Shmuel, the one who picked it, I don't know if he's the one who knew that which one it was. But Levi told Shmuel, go into the field and take fruit from the trees. and I'll eat it because I don't know. I don't know if it's Orla or not. I imagine that Shmuel also didn't know which one is Orla or not. So Levi did know which ones are Orla. So he said, "You go into the field. I'm not going to look, and bring out one of them. Now for me, it's a Suffolk Orla, and it'll be mutter." Rav Avia, Rabbi Rav Chanan, the Safkus Fukil, the also the same idea that they used to supply each other. They used to one would go into the field and bring it out for his friend. So the friend didn't know which one it was, and then the other one would go in and bring
It
it
was
out for him.
probably a real suffix. It wasn't just like
Yes, they know that some trees are, although some trees are not.
They were their fields.
Maybe, but it's a Suffolk Orla
Well,
because he doesn't know which one it came from. He doesn't know. He's not sure that it's Orla. What do you say? If the Jew knows that it's Orla, how
doesn't
can he
a
get like?
Jew, he doesn't he have to be able to count to 4? I mean, doesn't he have to keep eye on it?
So that's the
So
chiddush
nobody's
of
not
that's the
over?
chiddush of Suffolk Orla. That if you don't know, it's mutter in Chuslaritz. The Gemara is going to continue. How could it be?
Oh,
But
because this is in Chutzner.
yeah, the Chuslaritz, the one Chuslaritz.
Uh-huh.
So there's a special kula that Suffolk Orla is mutter, even though Suffolk the rice usually is. We're going to see in a second. Suffolk the rice is chumrah. How
Yeah.
come you'd be makel over here? If you hold that it's only a minhag, so then you could understand more why they make them. But this is like a very artificial suffix, something that you could have been Bavaria, you could have clarified. Here there are two Jews. I'm not sure if the Jews themselves knew. It sounds like the Jew, the one who picked it, didn't know which one it is. But as long as the other one doesn't know, he doesn't have to tell him. I'm confused a little bit. That's what it sounds like. That they took turns. You go in, and then I'll go in. It means that if the Jew himself knew which one is Orla, and he's not telling his friend, he's picking it off, and then he gives it to him. You don't know if it's Orla or not. Maybe each one didn't know. Each one didn't know which one is Orla.
They both didn't know.
They both didn't know, but you can't take it off from yourself. If you don't know which one it is, but you can't take it from the tree that might be Orla. That Suffolk Orla we're not going to be making.
but then now you go bust it right. If you didn't take it yourself, if you took it yourself, maybe you'll be kavua.
Maybe it doesn't tell us anything
What
about
I
that.
understood is that it's known that there's some young trees within this. You don't know which
Orchard,
one.
and you don't know which one, and neither one of them knows. But he wouldn't be makel that he can go. I don't know which one it is. I can't. That wouldn't be a kula. You can't take it yourself. Look, if you go back a little bit, when it says about Yilkot, we'll say that Jew could go. The first case was Yod V'Lokeach. That means that the guy has to bring it out of the orchard. I don't know where he got it from. There's a bigger reason you see that you could even be in the orchard and you see that the guy is taking it, but also has to be that you don't know which one it is. And even a Jew could take it for you as long as you don't take it yourself, and also that you don't know which one it is. Everyone has to not know which one it is. Can't say that I'm clear, but those were the coolest about Suffolk Orla. The Gemara starts now, new point. We'll come back to this again about Suffolk Orla, but the Gemara stops for a second. Ambi Chavifit of Pumpadisa. The sharp ones of Pumpadisa said. So Rashi tells us who they are. It's a Gemara in Sanhedrin that says, who are they? B'nai Rachva, the Pumpadisa. Avimi, Efav Avimi, the sons of Rachva. So they're called that they have a title, the sharp ones of Pumpadisa. So they said a big Kiddush. And all of Chosloris. There's no Israel at all. Before we said that it is also in Chosloris, question was it was the right said Rabbanan. They said there's no oil in Chosloris at all. Our Mishnah said so. Our Mishnah said that any agricultural laws don't apply in Chosloris, with the exception of Orla and Kalayim and their question about Chodesh. But everybody agreed that Orla is also in Chosloris. And they said there's no oil in Chosloris, no problem at all. Shalcha Rav Yudah l'kamedi Rav Yochanan. So Rav Yudah sent to Rav Yochanan that the Chavifit of Pumpadisa say that there's no oil in Chosloris. I think Agav Rav Yudah also was in Pumpadisa. Makes sense. So he told Rabbi Yochanan that the Chavifit of Pumpadisa say there's no Ola. Shalach Lei. So Rabbi Yochanan sent back a message to Rabbi Yehuda, Stom Sveika, Va'abed Vada. Rashi says that Suffolk is mutter, Suffolk Ola is mutter. And Stom means keep it a secret. It means even that, don't publicize. Don't publicize that Suffolk Ola is mutter and Chosloretz. It's mutter, but keep it a secret. Stone, like keep it satum.
Why? Because people can make
Could be over here. Could be over here that you see that they were especially makel. They know all of the Chosloretz. So don't tell them that Suffolk is mutter. If it's vada orla, then you have to destroy it. Like that's the halacha. That orla vada is us in Chosloretz. And announce, declare on their fruit. These people that said in all of Chosloretz that their fruit need to be hidden away, which the horror means is making some kind of a knas. I think he's saying that even the Paris, not only the Paris of Orla, all the Paris, if they're going to say ain't all of the Chosloretz, we're going to make some kind of a penalty on them that the Paris have to be taken away. I can't say for sure about that. Rashi doesn't say, but I think that's what it sounds like. If it would be the regular Orla Paris, then of course you have to destroy it. And if it's mutter, If it's suffix, so then it said don't unpublicize the heter, but they didn't say geniza. So maybe there's some kind of a penalty since they were saying and all of the so he penalized them that they should take away their parents. And then he said even stronger. He gave a curse to anybody that says somebody that says you shouldn't have any child or grandchild that is going to be Yorish.
Wow.
I thought the
How is
nin,
that a curse?
I thought the nin is the great grandchild.
So everyone says nin is a great grandchild
And you don't know where
because of modern Hebrew.
Because of modern Hebrew.
Modern Hebrew made nin as a great grandchild, and it's a mistake.
Oh,
And
we
people
come
ask the
to this,
kasha, how
okay.
come it says the great grandchild and the grandchild? The answer is that a nin means a child.
a nin.
A nin means a child.
Oh, why would it go backwards?
Right. So it's a mistake that Hebrew invented. They made that a nin is a great grandchild, no such thing.
And what's a grandchild?
Neched. And great grandchild, ben neched. Make it whatever you want to say. The next, but there's no word in Hebrew for a great grandchild. A neched rabbah. I don't know, but
Okay,
that's
but
a
for
famous
sure it's
mistake.
not
Famous
nin.
mistake.
Okay.
So somebody that says there's no Olam Choslar should not have a child or a grandchild that is going to take part of a Yerusha. Gorel is a lottery with the lots. When they throw
What's
lots,
hevel?
Hevel is a portion, and
portion.
it sounds similar to a Gorel.
Throw a portion or
In the Gorel in the Kalash, means that when people divide the Yerusha, so they make lots, they make parts, and then they divide it, and then maybe they throw lots who's going to get which portion. But that's a way of saying that they're not going to get it. They shouldn't have a Yerusha. They shouldn't live to get a Yerusha. It's a curse. So Avrohom's asking, how can you curse? I don't know. When are you allowed to curse? There's sometimes that you're allowed to curse. I don't know when. In Shulchan Aruch it doesn't say when you're allowed to curse. In the Gemara sometimes have curses, like Allah Abaye, and the Psukim have curses against Rishon also. Okay, I don't know what level of Russia has to be. Here he's not cursing them to those who said it if they continue saying it probably. If someone's going to continue saying and all of the Chuslaretz, he gave a curse. There's a pasuk, it says on the side, it's paraphrasing a pasuk in Micha that says, and he was paraphrasing that pasuk to say that you shouldn't have grandchildren that are going to be children or grandchildren that are going to be Yoresh. So Rabbi Yochanan is very strong against Harifi the Pumbedisa that said, "Ain't all of Chuslaretz." Rabbi Yochanan said, "There is all this Drabbana." Oh, I'm sorry, Rabbi Yochanan was Avrohom Moshe Messinai, and surely can't say that it's mutter. So the Gemara wants to know where did they get it from? The Inu commands Havru. Who do they hold like this? That ain't all of Chuslaretz. So the Gemara does find that Amandi Amor like them. They didn't get out of no place. There is a Bratana that says ain't all of Chuslaretz. Keratanya, like we learned in the Brisa. Avalosa Rabbi Yossi, Omer Mishum Abbeis Ben Miska, Shama Mishum Abbeis Glili, Shama Mishum Abbeis Benuri, Shama Mishum Abbeis Agodo. That's 5 people. What did he say? Ain't all of Chuslaretz. So someone does say that. Rabbi Lezer says ain't all of Lezer God is a regular Rabbi Lezer. That's when Hokinus. And he holds ain't all of Chuslaretz. It's not all at all. So there is somebody like that. It's very interesting that he cursed somebody that holds like him. Usually the Gemara would say just because he doesn't hold of it, so he curses. Like usually the Gemara has the kasha. Here the Gemara doesn't say anything.
You remember such a place like that?
So, but here the Gemara has no problem. He cursed if somebody can hold like Rabbi Lezer. The Gemara has the kasha and Rabbi Lezer himself. Hello, Rabbi Lezer himself holds there's no Orla in Chuslaretz. Vanan Tanan Rabbi Lezer Omer Afachadash. Our mission said that there is Orla in Kalayim and Chuslaretz, and Rabbi Lezer spoke up and said even Chadash. So even Chadash means he agrees everything that it said till now. L'chora. So that's a kasha because if he himself says there's no Orla, he should have said Orla not Chadash yes. So that's the Stephen Rabbi Lezer. Is there Orla in Chuslaretz? The answer is Tani Chadash. Take out the word Af. Just say Chadash. That he says no, he doesn't. He argues on what it says before. Tanakama says that there's all. He says no, it's no of it. It's Chadash. Climb, you have to stick in someplace over there. He doesn't read the climb. That's Rabbanan, and he says that Chadash is Asa. And he said before the reason Rabbi Lezer Chadash is Asa is going to be because of the pasuk Moshe Vasechem that he holds Moshavos means even in Chuslaretz. Before the Gemara learned out a Avrohom to Arla and Kilayim, and for some reason he doesn't know of the Avrohom. And he holds that there is no oil in Chuslaretz. But the Maisa, we hold that there is oil in Chuslaretz. And Rabbi Yochanan said it's Salachol Moshe Messinai. Yet a machlokes if it's Rabban or the Raisa. Rabbi Yochanan, which we probably pass like, says that oil is the rice in the Chuslaretz, but it's Salachol Moshe Messinai. And now the Gemara's Akasha that everybody probably is asking if it's the right, so how come Suffolk is mutter? Suffolk all in the Choslavos is mutter. Amar Be'asi, Amar Yochanan, all of the Choslavos are Lachol Moshe Messinai. This we had before already. Rabbi Yochanan is one who says Lachol Moshe Messinai. Shmuel is the one who said that it's Halacha Medina. It's a minhag. Amalei, somebody, the great question of gears over here. Amalei, Abzeil, Abasi, or different gears. Maybe somebody said, Abasi said to Rabbi Yochanan, Batanya Suffolk Orla Ba'aretz Aser. Batanan really. Suffolk Orla Ba'aretz Aser. The Surya Mutter. The Chutz La'aretz Ord Veloki. I'm not sure why I take out the gears to the Kasha from Chutz La'aretz. You're saying that, what?
Nothing, I'm just reading.
Your Kasha was, you said that all is the rice. If it's the rice, how come it's so lenient in Chutz La'aretz? Even in Surya will make by a Suffolk. And in Chutz La'aretz we even won't make if you say that all in Chutz La'aretz is the Halacha Moshe Messinai, so Shmam is the rice, so it should be no difference between Eretz Yisrael or Chutz La'aretz as far as all the goes. Suffolk should be also every Suffolk the rice of the Chomer. How come we'll make more in Surya and Chutz La'aretz? So Shtomim Kishar Chada, he was stunned for a minute. That's paraphrasing a pasuk in the Nil, but the point is to say that he was stunned with Kasha. He says that as the rice. How come it says that it's will make him by a Suffolk? Amalei Ema Kach Nemar. So then he said, this was the way it was said. Sveika Mutter Bada Asa. That's the Halacha Moshe Messinai. Part of it's the Raisa. But the Halacha Moshe Messinai said that even though it's the Raisa, you can make it by a Suffolk. So that's the answer. So Allah of Choslavos could be the Raisa, Halacha Moshe Messinai, but the Halacha Moshe Messinai said that a Suffolk is Mutter, which is against the regular klal. The regular klal is that Suffolk the Raisa of Chumrah. You find the same thing also by Mamzer. Suffolk Mamzer is Mutter. As part of the Raisa says that a Suffolk sometimes is Mutter, even though usually Suffolk the Raisa of Chumrah. New sugya. Now going into Klayim. Klayim, we said in the Mishnah that Klayim is also Asr in Chutz La'aretz. Amar Abasi Amar Yochanan. Lokanal Klayim Dvar Torah. That it's Malchai Malchus. It's the Raisa Chutz La'aretz. That even Klayim, even in Chutz La'aretz is Malchus. Amalei Rabbi Elazar Rabbi Yossi. The question of the Gersa who said it over here. Vanan Tanan Haklayim Medivei Sofrim. That's the Mishnah over there in Send of Orla. The Klayim's Rabbanon. How could you say Klayim's the Raisa? I'm asking, but Klayim's also, but it's only Asr Rabbanon. The Divei Sofrim, you were saying that as the Raisa. Lo Kasha. Kam B'Kloya Kem, Kam B'Kavas Ilan. There are different kinds of Klayim. So here it says that Hakavas Ilan is Asr with the Raisa in Chutz La'aretz. Hakavas Ilan means to graft. There are different kinds of how to crossbreed trees. You can have seeds. You can crossbreed the seeds when you plant it, but you could cross the branches. That means that you take a branch out of one tree and you carve a hole into another tree, and you stick it in. You bandage it up until it takes hold, and that's called grafting. And he says that grafting trees in Chutz La'aretz is deraisa. Even though it says in the Mishnah in Orla that climb is Rabbanan, it's Divei Sof. That's talking about the seeds. If you collide a kerem, that you're going to plant in a kerem, we'll see soon. But if it's going to be a tree, then grafting trees, even the Chutz La'aretz is going to be deraisa.
Different species.
If it's
Grafting trees of different species.
of different species, yeah, I'm sorry, should have said that. That it means crossbreeding, different species. Okay, the Shmuel, Shmuel is going to say a drasha. How you know that a kapasilan is worse? It says the pasuk says as for postat Shmuel. Just maybe here just to show what the pasuk is over here. Or maybe we'll do it. It's better than that. We'll do it on the side. Where's the pasuk? Vayikra 19:19. As for postat Shmuel, the Gemara is going to insert drashas all the time. Bem tcholos are be a client. Sot tcholos is a client. It happens to be in this pasuk all the different kinds of climb. Beggars climb, shadnez lo yala alecha. It talks about not to crossbreed animals, not to cross. That's behem tcholos be a climb. That's animals, not to crossbreed animals. Also, sot tcholos is reclined. Don't make climb by planting, and also shandis climb shandis. There's two kinds of climb: climb by animals, climb by agriculture, and climb by garments. Anyway, the Gemara is dashing in the beginning of the pasuk three things: chokosai tishmoru. There's going to be a drash on that. Bem tcholos be a climb, a drash about that, and self tcholos is reclined. The Gemara is not going to dash in about shandis over here. Here goes the pasuk now. Here now the Gemara goes into the drasha. Shmuel said, "Es chokosai tishmoru." So, and that we insert chukim shechakakti l'chol kvar, laws that I already decided. Chakakti to be chokek. The word chokosai tishmoru. Chokosai, Rashi says on this, chokosai tishmoru. With the low ksil, shmartem es chokosai, mashmas chokosai Hashem olam So Rashi says from here we see that this was also even for Bnei Noach. Not only is it also a new Isra that Hashem said now, but it's an old Isra. Continue doing the Isra that I told you by Bnei Noach. The old laws that I said you're not allowed to do Klayim, so too continue doing it now. If it would have said
That's a general thing. Chukosidon is like general on all of these things.
or at least the ones that it's going to be talking about.
Okay.
And now Pasuk continues, don't insult Chalos Israel climb. It says both of these things. Don't crossbreed your animals and don't make a cross connection of your field. And with Donat Drush, we're comparing Klai Asada, Klai Israel to Klai Behema. Just like there's the Isser to crossbreed animals, so too you're not allowed to cross trees. Hakava is grafting. It means that each one is already a complete unit. By animals,
is the breeding.
right? And just like when you breed animals, you are breeding the two full-grown animals. That's crossing two full-grown animals. Also, trees is going to be the same thing. That you take the tree that's already grown, with a branch that's already grown, and to cross them together. That's similar to crossbreeding animals. It's not similar to mixing seeds together. When you put seeds together, you're planting seeds. That's not similar to the way that you crossbreed animals. So here we say that the issue is going to be for grafting. Just like you're not allowed to crossbreed animals even in Chutz La'aretz because there's nothing to do with the agriculture, nothing to do with the land. It's not earth related. It's not related to the earth, so therefore it applies even in Chutz La'aretz. So too, Kalayim, even though it does have to do with the earth, you might think it only applies in Eretz Israel. You have a drasha to say that applies to Chutz La'aretz also. We didn't talk about how you know Kalayim is in Chutz La'aretz. We talked about maybe a Kavachomer from Chadash, but here it says a drasha to say that crossbreeding is us even in Chutz La'aretz.
Is this because Behemta was mentioned first in the pasuk?
I don't know if it's first or because both of them are compared. One is compared to the other. The Hekesh, the pasuk compares both of them in the same pasuk, so they're comparable. And this, is already two units. Each one is a double Masui.
Why can't you go the other way then? Maybe Sadcha is in the land, so then a Behema also is only in the land.
What is in the land? No. First, we're saying the point about that. The Gemara goes to a different step. The Gemara first wants to know: is it only Harkava or is it even Zroim? Is it even only the grafting of the trees, or even mixing the seeds together? So that the Gemara learns out from an animal. That way, by the seeds, it could be two ways. You have two possibilities how to graft agricultural things. Either the seeds in the ground. And that the Gemara says first that animal is only one way to do it. It seems that that means to graft two animals, breeding two animals. So too, that Rashi calls it a davar mesuyam, which means a specific fixed thing. So too, the Harkava is going to be the branch together in the tree. Now you're asking on the second point of the Gemara.
I thought maybe it's because Behema is written first in the pasuk.
Maybe. Rashi doesn't tell me. I don't know. Rashi says me learn out also that since the Behema is also even a Chutz La'aretz, so too.
Once you learn in terms about how to do it, then
that's what I was thinking, but I'm not sure if it's so logical what I said.
Okay.
But the Gemara does say over this, which most Rashi to say that grafting trees is also even a Chutz La'aretz, which you learned it out from animals. The Gemara is a kasha of Ksiv Sadcha. It does say in the pasuk Sadcha. Sadcha means your field. What's your field? And here Rashi says
your field would be in the land.
Which land? Only Eretz Israel.
Yeah.
So Rashi, interesting Rashi. I don't recall if we have other places like this that Chutz La'aretz leiknu l'cha min hashamayim. Chutz La'aretz is not yours. You might say I bought a field in New York, in California. So it says no. Chutz La'aretz doesn't. Hashem didn't give it to you, so it's not called yours. Interesting Gemara. I wonder why people.
That's where Rashi says that, right?
Rashi explains that the word here's the Rashi in blue. Chutz La'aretz leiknu l'cha min hashamayim. Sadcha means it has to be yours. It's designated for you. And Chutz La'aretz is not. Hashem didn't give it to you. He says, "What do you mean? I paid $100,000 for it." Say, no, it's not yours. It's not Sadcha. What do they say on the Daf Yomi shiurim over there?
I don't know.
1 second. I don't get it.
Better sell it.
I don't get it.
I don't get it fast.
I don't get
Come
it.
here.
You have to live in Eretz Yisrael. But let's say someone lives here. I want to do real estate in Chutz La'aretz. Is there something wrong with that?
And that doesn't say. It just says it's not called yours. That's a very interesting question. Sadcha means it has to be in Eretz Yisrael.
I don't get that. Why is that? It's not. I'm saying just. It'd be something wrong for if someone has money and want to invest in Chutz La'aretz to buy.
No, this is just halacha somehow.
Yes,
Yeah.
but I think that people should take from it more than just halacha. The answer is so trees is also even the Chutz La'aretz. Grafting trees is also even the Chutz La'aretz with the rice, Chayv Malchus. But Zroim, to mix the seeds, that is mutter.
Mixing the seeds would be
Mutter. And one more Gemara, we have one more category. Rav Chanan, Rav Anan, Rav Shakti Vazdi Vorcha. But these two are going on the road. Shakti Vazdi, I don't know the exact translation of the word Shakti. I don't know how to translate it. They were walking on the road. They saw somebody that was mixing seeds together. And he was planting mixed seeds. Amalei, so one said to the other, Nesi Mar Nishante. You should put him in Chayrim. He's
Is that as it was in Eretz Israel?
no Chutz La'aretz.
Oh, this is in Chutz La'aretz?
And they were
Okay.
and someone was planting seeds together. So he said, put him in Chayrim.
We just
Amalei,
did you
lo,
read the line before?
Amalei, lo Charvisu. You're not clear. You're not clear in the laws of Kalayim.
Uh-huh.
Then they went on go. They saw a man that was planting wheat and barley amongst the grapes. Sounds like Kalaya Karen. So he said again, he should put him in Karen. You're not clear. The word sohar also means like light. Rashi says,
clear.
so soharos me'iros, like sohar tasa lateva, light, that you're not illuminated in the laws of Kalayim. And here he told him, Lo kaim v'lam Rav Yoshia, the Amar Achiz Rachita Asor v'chasim b'polos yad. You have to read it like that. Rashi says, don't we pass like Rav Yoshia? Rav Yoshia says you're not chayiv only until you plant wheat and barley and grapeseed in one shot, one throw. That if you
throwing
polos yad, to throw it all together. So that means that you have to have three. It's not enough to have just. What does that mean? That if you have already big gufni, if you have already a geffen, and then you're going to plant seeds, that's not this. This is only if you take the three seeds and plant it together. That's what the Gemara seems to say. It also, he says you have to have two meaning besides. If you're just going to take grape seeds and wheat, you're not high. Only if you have three altogether. Chita Sora and Kartza. Here the point is also, the main point Agmar seems to say is that it has to be the seeds. But if you're going to take the wheat and the barley, and which he did. Here he was taking Chita Visari, according to his gear set itself, it says Chita Visari, and he planted a big gufni in the place where they were Gafana, and he said also he's not Chayiv, because he didn't plant it all together. I think that's what the Gemara seems to say, according to our gear set. Maybe something out of the word Sari, and he only did Chitim. So he said he passed like a Biosha, he's only Chayiv if he did three, not if only if he did two. Yes, if only if he did three. This Gemara says the horror that you're allowed to plant seeds together in Chutz La'aretz.
Do farmers do that today?
Do they plant the different seeds together?
Yeah, or is it like the science of it is it's not as
So
healthy?
I heard from Reuben Heller that he was in a place where there was a farm. They were after planting it together for some reason that
They
it
were
was
planting
better.
it together.
And the question was if it was in the Chutz La'aretz, and I forgot if he was in the Chutz La'aretz at the time. And he was learning Mishnayos, and he knew to ask the question: are you allowed to plant them together? So far, Gemara says the Chutz La'aretz would be allowed to plant the two seeds together, and it's really not allowed to. That's what Klai wrong. So I think maybe he was in Chutz La'aretz at the time. He told me, and so far it says that it's mutar in Chutz La'aretz to plant two seeds together. The case about the geffen over here, I can't say for sure. That's what the Gemara is saying, that the geffen was already planted, and now he planted the chita sorum in the place where there was a vineyard. So then he says also that wouldn't be also point of Yoshi. A little bit further, I can't say I have clarity yet, and that is going to be a third category. Rav Yosef Mar Vizra Zrani Vizora. Rav Yosef would mix the seeds together. Vizrani means seeds, and he would plant, and that's what he's in Chutz La'aretz. And we just said that you're allowed to plant mixture of seeds together in Chutz La'aretz. Abaye asked the Kasha Mishnah and Orla that says that it's also Rabbanan. It's true, it's not the Raisa. We came up before that grafting trees is the Raisa, and Klai is wrong, saying now it's mutter. And now the Kasha is that it says Klai is Rabbanan. Mishnah says Klai is Rabbanan. Amalei lo Kasha. Kam Klai Kerem, Kam Klai is wrong. That there's a difference between Klai Kerem and Klai is wrong. Klai Kerem means to plant, as we just said, Chita Sora with a grape seeds. That's going to be the rice. That's going to be Rabbanan. In the Eretz Yisrael, everything is awesome. But in Chutz La'aretz, we have three categories now. That grafting is awesome with the Raisa, Klai Kerem is awesome with Rabbanan, and Klai Yisrael is mutter. I think that's not love. But we shouldn't do it yet until it's verified. But that's what the Agumar on this page, that's what it says. Grafting trees is the Raisa, Klai Kerem is Rabbanan, everything in Chutz La'aretz, and Klai Yisrael is mutter.
What's Hartzon?
Charson means grape seeds.
Grape seeds. Oh, Hartzon.
But in Nazir it says you shouldn't eat grape seeds, even the shells.
And we're saying derice, it has to be these three meaning.
That's why
Chitas or
Chita and Charson. It could be other meaning also, but it has to be three. And not two, one Chita together with Charson wouldn't be high. It has to be used after three together. Rashi says he doesn't know where Yoshi gets it from. Time of Yoshi Lo Yadana, where does he get it from? That you have to have 2 mayonnaise rum plus a Charson. And how do you know what Polis Yad? Because it says, Mashmar Shezriya Saker Matzmatia B'Klayim. So I think that's what the Gemara is saying, that here there was already a Begufni, there was already a grapevine that was growing. So he said, according to Rabbi Yoshi, it wouldn't be chayiv for planting seeds, even if you plant 2 seeds, chita and sorrow. He wouldn't be chayiv because he didn't plant all 3 seeds together. And the rice is only all 3 seeds together. It could be that Midrabanan also should be also maybe, but he didn't put him in Cherem, I'm not sure. The first thing was Klai's Ram, so he said Klai's Ram was mutter. The second thing was Klai Kerem, and we're saying that Klai Kerem should be also Midrabanan, but he said that since it wouldn't be the rice in Eretz Yisrael, it's only the rice if you did all 3 seeds together, and here you didn't do all 3 seeds together, so it wouldn't be the rice in Eretz Yisrael, so he didn't make it also even with Rabbanan and Chus. And the Gemara explains now what's the difference between Klai Kerem and Klai Yisrael. Klai Kerem, the Ba'aretz, Asur Bano, Chus Laretz Nami Gazu Burabanan. Klai Yisrael, the Ba'aretz, Lo Asiri Bano, Chus Laretz Nami Gazu Burabanan. So Yosef has to explain why should he say a difference? Why should he differentiate between Klai Yisrael and Klai Kerem? Both of them are the rice in Eretz Yisrael. So he says no, Klai Kerem is more chomer because it's even Asur Bano. If you did the Israel Klai Kerem, then the thing becomes Asa, like it says we had yesterday, took the Shamalaya, that it becomes Asur Bano, like Hektish becomes Asa. But Klai Yisrael doesn't become Asa. You're not allowed to do it, but the produce doesn't become Asa. Bano. So that's why we're more machmir about Klai Kerem, that the Asa didn't even in Chus. That was Rav Yosef's strat to explain the Mishnah. Rav Yosef was mixing seeds to plant together in Chus Laretz. Abayis Takasha says Klai and Zasim Rabbanan. Rav Yosef suggested that's only Klai Kerem because it's more chomer. You see that it's even Asur Bano. That's why the Asa didn't even in Chus Laretz. But Klai is wrong. That's not so chomer. That it's not Asur Bano. They didn't Asur it in Chus Laretz.
There's like I see now, I mean, I saw this picture too, but like a vegetable garden.
Right.
Many people, when they have their own vegetable gardens, they'll put tomatoes and cucumbers and everything.
Without making the separation.
Yeah.
So here it says,
So is that maybe what he was doing?
right. Or you mix the seeds, mamish. Or you saying that wouldn't be scientifically smart, but maybe they didn't make a separation between them. You're saying, you're suggesting.
Is this, excuse me, is this picture, is this, would this be like kilayim, or is it, are you
Here
saying
it
that the
sounds,
furrows
here it
are-
looks like you made a very big separation between them.
if it's how big of a separation does it have to be?
It looks like a nice separation of it.
Well, as long as it's a row and you
Three,
can.
I think three tvachim
Oh,
is
3
spoken
tachim,
about.
and then, so then this is not, okay.
Maybe that's going to be a picture for the rest of the page. Maybe there's
Okay.
a further picture. So, so far that's what comes out there. There are 3 halachas in the Chus Laretz. Grafting is also with the rice. It's even Chayit Malchus. Klai is also with Rabbanon. And we said Klai Kerem, according to Pastor Rabbi that it's only if you do the 3 seeds together. Ita, Sora, and Charza. And Klai's Ram is mutter in Chus Laretz because even in Eretz Yisrael, when it's really Asur, it's not Asur Bano, so they didn't Asur in the Chus Laretz. That was Rav Yosef's suggestion. And then Rav Yosef was skeptical about his own shot. Had Amar Rav Yosef, then Rav Yosef said, it's not true what I said. He was attracting, and he thought maybe I should be machmer not to plant seeds together. The Rav, Zohar Ginsa, the Bay Rav, Mishari, Rav, he had a vegetable garden for the Talmidim, and he would plant them in patches. Maybe like that picture, rows. He made rows or patches of different minim. And if I'm right, in Chus Laretz, so how come he was so makbid to make different rows? It's mutter to plant them sorted. So I must be wrong. He didn't have a kasha from a Mishnah Bryce, he had a kasha from Rav.
But why would he be makbid?
Right, why was he makbid to make rows? If it's mutter in Chus Laretz, so forget it, do what you want. So it must be my time. Why was he makbid to make separate rows? Isn't it because that you're not allowed to mix klayim? So that means even in Chus Laretz he was makbid, at least for Rabbanan, not to mix it together. Amalei Abaye said no, that you don't see anything from the story of Rav. Bishlam Yashmi Inan. If you would have been planting 4 different types of seeds on the 4 edges of the patch and one in the middle, that's like he wanted to get a lot of minim. He wanted to do a cucumber and a tomato and etc.
Cabbage and carrot.
Cabbage and a carrot, very good. And a fifth one also, I need one more.
Radish.
And he had minimum space, and he did it in a way that he was mamish makna his client, like it says that you're allowed to take a patch. That's I think
We're talking about
Fine.
arba tfachim.
yes, arba types, arba
Arba mini.
minim on the four sides of the aruga, on the four edges of the aruga,
Yeah.
and one in the middle. That's how you. That's a mission in Shabbos. How you're allowed to utilize a small patch of earth. That's going to be, I think, 6 by 6 tefachim. I forgot exactly. And you could get on it. You could get on it 5 different species.
Without being over to
Right. So if he would have done like that he separated in a minimal way, so then you see that he's being makul and climb even in chuslavitz. Then you would have had a raya that Rav says you're not allowed to do klai Yisrael even in chuslavitz. But he didn't do that. He did make patches, and that elacha mishum noi inami mishum techa deshamai. You don't see that Rav was makul because it's awesome. He did it because it's more nice, nicer. It's nicer to have patches of cucumbers, patches of that, or because that the shaman shouldn't have difficulty. He wants to go get cucumbers, so he knows where to get cucumbers. Instead of getting a cucumber here, a cucumber over there, everything's assorted. He wanted that it should be arranged nicely. So you don't see anything from Rav. It's really more to mix Klai Yisrael and Chutz. Shama is the shamash, the shamash, the servant.
It's going to be a problem for him to
find cucumbers. He wants to bring cucumbers, 10 Talmidim, he wants to bring cucumbers. He has to go look around for all the cucumbers in the middle of the turnips and the radishes. So this row, yeah, it's very, that's why people do it also. The Goyim also, right, the Goyim also do it like that. Rashi says shamash. Rashi translates the word for you. The shamash is the shamash.
The shamash is shamash. Thank you.
What comes out? We did 2 sugis. One was about Orla. Machlokas of Orla is Allah Moshe Sinai, or Drabanan, or even Mutter, in all of Chuslas, everything Chuslas. So somehow Rabbi Yochanan held that as the rice of Allah Moshe Sinai. It seems that's how we paskin. But the Allah Moshe Sinai did say that Suffolk is Mutter. So Suffolk is Mutter, and he had even these stories that people went into the field and into the orchard, and he told somebody else to get it for him. As long as it's by Suffolk, you don't know, I don't know. So it's Mutter, even though they could have verified it maybe. And you don't say Suffolk the rice of the Chumrah.
I said we have a diagram here. It's 6 tefachim. That means that it only has to be 1 tefach for that plant. Like here, they show how they made a row. Right. They made 4 rows.
And the point is going to be that since you can distinctly that's a separate. It's not you don't see a mixture. You see that
even though really the middle one is touching.
But since it's touching by a corner, so you see the diamond shape. You see that it's not a mixture with the side ones. So you can get 5 types within 6 by 6.
Okay.
And so Orla, it's a question if it's the Raisa, Drabanan, or Mutter, and Chutz La'aretz. And we paskin, I think, that is the Raisa, and there was a curse when somebody says that there's no Orla, but there is such a Shita, and in our mission, you have to change the Girsa that he doesn't hold the Orla.
Oh, we hold by.
We hold like Rabbi Yochanan, I think that is the Raisa.
Not to do Kilaim and
Orla. I went back and positive, recapping that this first circle was about Orla. We have 2 circles today, Orla and Kalaya Kerem, and Klaya, and Chutz La'aretz. Orla is Machlokis, if it's the Raisa, Allah Moshe Sinai, Allah Medina, or Ein Orla b'chutz la'aretz, and a curse upon those who are going to continue saying Ein Orla b'chutz la'aretz, even though Rabbi Elazar did hold so. But Rabbi Yochanan said no, it's Allah Moshe Sinai, and but Suffolk is Mutter. That's part of Allah Moshe Sinai. The Suffolk is Mutter, even though it's a Suffolk the Rice of Allah. And here he's saying the Kula. Second subject was about Kalaim and Chutz La'aretz. It comes out there 3 categories. Grafting is the rice and it's Chayk Malkus, and that's the Rashi learn how together with Behemtecha. Those are similar to an animal. That's the Raisa. Sadcha, that says only yours, and yours only is an Eretz Yisrael. So that means that Klai Yisrael is Mutter, and they didn't even make it Asa Midrabanan. But Klai Yakem, they made it Asa Midrabanan because it's very chomer that when it is Asa, it's Asa Bano in Eretz Yisrael. So they made it Asa Midrabanan. They made it Asa to do Klai Yisrael, Klai Kerem in Chutz La'aretz. Rabbi Yoshia says that Klai Kerem is only if you did the 3 seeds together. Chita Sor of a Geffen, Remapolis Yad, Charzan. And that's how we pass it. This says you seem to pass it. One bracha says no alma kitla sabi that the minagolim is to pass them like a biosha by Kalayim, that it's only asim with the raisa if you do all 3 together. Taisa does talk about it, even according to biosha, if you do chita sora, so it's not worse than doing Kalai Yisrael. If you did chita sora, then it's going to be not worse than any kind of Kalai Yisrael. They're not allowed to do 2. But to be chayv Kalai Yisrael was only if you did 3 with Mapolisyan. All that was about Orla, Klaim, and Chadash, which are exceptions to the regular rule that agricultural laws only apply in Eretz Yisrael. These apply even in Chutz La'aretz.
So the kashrus organizations in Fusloritz, like for an orchard, are there fruits that they could be picking before that are orla? That they have to make sure.
So they have to make sure that it's not Orla in Chutz La'aretz also. But Suffolk Orla is mutter in Chutz La'aretz. So if they don't know, if the company comes and they don't know, the Mashgiach, the Goyim do what they would do, and then you come and they don't know that it's Orla, so then they'll say that it's mutter. If they know for sure that it's Orla, then they wouldn't do
Even
that.
though, but you said it's deraisa, right?
Rabbi Yochanan says it's a
Well, it's
Moshe
deraisa
Messina, the
for
rice,
Judas.
but Suffolk, but it's the rice if you know that it's Vadai Orla. But if it's Suffolk Orla, so then it's mutter. And even though usually
order doesn't mean that you don't investigate and find out if it's
it's
order
not,
or not.
you see that it is that you even allowed to make artificial suffix that you could investigate, you don't have to. That's what they did. They even went, you go into the field and figure out something, and that's mutter. So you don't have to investigate. That's a big leniency in all. Some first laws they don't have big problems with all the problems.
I see.
Here in Eretz Yisrael, there was I don't know what's doing now, but there was an issue about what they call them. They have the packaging houses, whatever it was. They brought all the produce, and you had all the farms. They had to, all the horses had to bring it to a the central distribution area, and they weren't able to keep track of what's Orla. The kashrus companies had a problem with them, that they knew how much percentage of Orla of a new fruit were planted, but they couldn't have a constant certification to know that this was not from Orla. So, and Eretz Yisrael Orla is also, even the Suffolk Orla is also also. But in Chutz La'aretz, such a story would be a problem.
Usually when I mean, I guess it's different depending on the type of fruit, but when did the fruit start become viable?
How many years? You're saying how many years? So you're saying that the first 2 years it could be
I'm
that.
wondering, like an
But
apple.
right, so I don't know, but they do have Orla. And I know there's Orla that's on the market. Orla is on the market. So this first and second year could be not, but the third year they do. If they became built on.
You need more of that. You need the rising. You need shisha.
Yeah, but it's case that
When it goes into the distributing house, so they have
Called the
shishim,
parchment.
they're gonna have a shishim over
A
there.
shisha.
So why is that not the answer? I don't know. Maybe you're right. There was an issue. I remember there was an issue years ago that the kashrus organizations couldn't have supervision when they went into the distributing house. So I don't know the answer. I don't know. Maybe Rove was good enough. I forgot. Rove or shishim, whatever is going to be. We're up to now the next Mishnah, which is Lamed Testament base, and this is the last Mishnah of the Torah. And it's like, no, there's not a Mishnah coming up, 2 Mishnahs. And both these are going to be Agarata a little bit. And it's all on the list of Kol. We have a whole series of Mishnahs that there's no obvious connection between the word, besides the word Kol. It's some kind of a listing of the Kols. So,
like general,
we started about Kinyanim over there, and Chalipin, Kala, Nas, Sedom, Ba'acher. Because of that Kinyanim, we started with Kinyanim. Isha Niknes, don't forget, when Kiddushin. Isha Niknes. And then because of that, we went into all kinds of Kinyanim. And the last Kinyan was Chalipin, and I spoke about Kala, Nas, Sedom, Ba'acher, which may be Kala, Nisham, Dam, Ba'acher. And because of that, we got all kinds of Kol, Mitzvah Saval Abein, Mitzvah Abein Alav, Kol, Mitzvah Shasman Groma, those Man Groma, Kol, that's Tluy Boris, ain't Tluy Boris. Kol Osim Mitzvahas. If someone does a mitzvah, Mativin Lo, Marichin Lo, Yama, V'no Cholas Oretz, they're going to be good to him from heaven. They're going to do for him good, and he's going to have a long life, and he's going to inherit the land. So Rashi says, Mativin Lo means Olam Hazeh, No Cholas Oretz is Olam Haba. Isn't that a fascinating way to say you get Olam Haba? You get the land. Which land?
Oh wow.
Which land? No Cholas Oretz. We have 2 things on this stuff for Chutz La'aretz encouragement. That one is that it's not called Sadcha in Chutz La'aretz, and the second thing is that Lo Cholas Oretz means Olam Haba. It's very
from one mitzvah.
From one mitzvah, it sounds like. The Gemara is an Asakasha. Here it says you do one mitzvah, you get a good life, you get long life, and you get Olam Haba. If you don't do one mitzvah, what does it mean? You didn't do even any mitzvah. He doesn't get a good life, he doesn't have long life, and he doesn't have the Olam Haba. One mitzvah.
Why would we have to pass on?
And what does it mean? He didn't do a mitzvah. It means that he didn't do an aver, but he didn't do a mitzvah either. In order to get Olam Haba, you have to do a mitzvah. At least one mitzvah. The Gemara is going to ask right away, does it mean one mitzvah? For a mini, a kasha from a Mishnah, the first Mishnah in Peah. The following, you get Olam hazeh and olam haba. Parents saying means interest kind of thing. The principle remains for olam haba, but you do get dividends in this world. And it says 4 mitzvahs. Kibbut avayim, gemilas hasadim, hava shalom v'adam l'chaveiro. They take out achnas hasorchim because it doesn't say it in any of the sources. And Talmud Torah connected kulam. So it says kibbut avayim. It's going to have you have olam haba and even dividends in this world. Gemilas hasadim, all kinds of kindnesses to people. Hava shalom v'adam l'chaveiro, making peace between people. Because they say that all the gear cells don't have it. It says in the where's Gimel over here? I'm not sure where it goes. They take out the Chnas Sorkim. In the Siddur, it has many more. What does it have in the Siddur? What do we say? Oh, that also, all these things. So I watched the same thing as Benishal. They just emphasize it, put it in, emphasize it, but it said, but which one is this over here?
Gimel Sasadim is not the same as Havas Shalom. Oh, I see. One is doing good.
Doing
That would be
kindnesses.
included in
Why is it not called the kind of doing kindness when you bring peace amongst people?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Or it's a specific kind of peace.
Or a specific kind of kindness.
Kind of kindness. That's what yeah.
It says on the side over here, "Shtei tevis Allah chasas sorchim less of a mishnah the pei v'lo b'shum makom." So it says it's not the words of chasas sorchim. I think in the Siddur also when we did the davening from the beginning, so we saw that a lot of it is added over there. We don't know exactly from where. The Gemara in Shabbos does talk about some things that are included in these 4 things, but the original guess of the Mishnah only has 4.
No, so how is this there's no Ramihu means
Akasha. We're going to throw Akasha on this Mishnah. Our Mishnah says any mitzvah gives you olam hazeh and olam haba. This Mishnah says that these particular mitzvahs give you olam hazeh and olam haba. It sounds like the other mitzvahs don't. Not so potent.
okay.
Here it says also Talmud Torah Keneged Kula means that Talmud Torah is as much as the other mitzvahs as far as this point of schar and olam hazeh and olam haba. I think people quote the Mishnah always saying Talmud Torah is as big as all the mitzvahs, but just to keep in mind that it says it as far as this point of how great the schar is. You get Paris. You get a lot of Paris for Talmud Torah and olam hazeh, but it doesn't say in general that this overrides other mitzvahs. That's not the subject of the Mishnah. That's a kasha. Our Mishnah says any mitzvah gives you olam hazeh, olam haba, and that Mishnah says something about these particular mitzvahs. Kibbut avayim, gemilas hasadim, hava shalom, and Talmud Torah. I'm going to view Dachi Kamar. It could be that the Gemara in Shabbos does say Achmas Sorchim is included in Gemilas Hasadim. That's why that the Gemara in Shabbos 127 over there it does say there are a list of things that are included in these 4 categories, but it's not in the source. I'm going to view Dachi Kamar. What?
What about having says color?
Also, it's not in the original Mishnah. The Mishnah doesn't have that. It doesn't have that in the Mishnah. The Mishnah in Peah doesn't say that. We can look into it if we want to. We can look at it already into gear. So it's he doesn't have. Yeah, he doesn't have it at all. This Siddur doesn't have it at all. He says right away. Abundance. He doesn't say. In the regular Siddur it does have it, but I think that here it says. No, he doesn't tell us all the details over here. He says the Mishnah Pei, but the Mishnah Pei doesn't have all that. The Mishnah Pei, yeah, but the Mishnah Pei only has 4 things. It doesn't have all of the additions that we say every day. We can look into it more, maybe after Sukkot, we'll go back to the Siddur eventually. We can look up the detail.
Shabbos 127.
Right, and so over there it adds on some things, and it says that they're included in. Okay, for here
because
that's interest everybody.
Because the famous word is that
from
What's the famous word?
You started.
No, you say.
The Chaim Kardot had cancer. So the Stibler told him that it's between the vice mace and the Bikuchoylech Naskala. So if you Naskala, it will go away. And that's what he did.
People are very. That's kind of is for whatever reason, maybe for this reason, very much something else. That's what people say. That's kind of it's
In Shabbos 127, it's not in the Mishnah. Ian Tefillah is not in the Mishnah. Ashkamas Beis HaMedrash, and also Hamakav Banav Talmud Torah, and Adanas Chaver Lekavskos. All six of them are not in the Mishnah. The Mishnah says the four things: keep it up, aim, and Talmud Torah. So the more answers, honey, the kasha is only these, not he doesn't have your list. So he says, honey, nami, v'hani shaychi. They fit in. These are subcategories of subs. They're included in the form. So Rashi tells us how you fit it in. Achnas hasorchem b'kecholim is going to be l'sasadim. Ian tefillah is also going to be l'sasadim. Rashi says because a person going nafshu v'chesed is davening. When you daven well, it's called the milah sasadim. You're doing chesed to yourself.
Okay.
Hashkamas Beis HaMedrash and Gilul Bana Talmud Torah is Talmud Torah. Then the Chaver Lekavskos is also Avrohom Shalom. Okay, so but the other things it says, Achnas Kala, it doesn't even say in the Gemara either. So this famous board is not sourced.
What was the one that was Avrohom Shalom you just said?
Which one?
Um,
Avrohom Shalom. Which one's included Avrohom Shalom? It says down the Lekavskos. Giving the benefit of the doubt. Because it's going to be shown between me and him is also called Avrohom Shalom. You don't have to make peace between two strangers. If you make peace between yourself, it's also called. So the famous word needs the source.
No, Nisan said that the Chaim wanted to encourage him to Achnas Kala. Achnas Kala on his own could it.
Yeah, you don't need a source. Okay.
And also women that want to get married, they say what do they do?
Achnas Kala and it's school to get married. I didn't hear that.
No. They help with the mace or something. I don't know. Okay.
Then the vasa, the Ansas Kala is in between the vasa mace and
Bikuchim. We're just pointing out that there's no such source. It doesn't say Achnas Kala in their sources. The Siddur got it in somehow. We don't know where the Siddur got it from. But it's not in the Mishnah. It's not in the Gemara. It's not in the Brisa.
The Siddur heard the board, so put it in.
So that's a kasha. Our Mishnah says any mitzvah gives you al mazah al mabah, and the Mishnah in Peah only says four things. And of course, you can say the whole elaboration of each of these four, but it's not any mitzvah. Our Mishnah means kalosa mitzvahas yiseva al zchuyosav. It doesn't mean there's one mitzvah. It means that he tipped the scale, that he makes it more.
One mitzvah that tips the scale,
right,
will do it.
Right, it means he gets rov. If you have rov mitzvahs, then you're going to get olam hazeh and olam haba.
Well, and that's not a contradiction because here it said just these four things.
Right, and those are special. They don't just tip the scale.
Oh, even if those by themselves.
And that's the way the Gemara's kasha. You do one mitzvah, you get all that. That's going to be the next Gemara's kasha. But so, to answer the kasha, Amish is talking about if you tip the scale, then then they're going to be good to him. The Doma Commission Makam Kala Torah Kula, and it's going to be as if he did the whole Torah. From doing robe, it's as if he did the whole Torah. And the Gemara's kasha, which Levi is asking now, and these four that it says in the Mishnah and Peah is even one mitzvah alone without tipping the scale. He has Rov Averis, and he has these four mitzvahs. So he's the one out of these four. I'm Rav Shmaya. No, Lomar Shemoisa Shkula Machras. If it's equal, if he has equal balance, it's a balanced scale. And on the side of the merit is also one of these four mitzvahs. That's heavy. That's going to be heavier. But if it's on its own, if it's going to be,
you mean if it's
balanced. So then these mitzvahs are special that they tip the scale, and other mitzvahs don't tip the scale. It's just going to be balanced. But if it's rov avonos, it's not going to help. That's one mitzvah that he did to get olam hazeh. That's the first thing. So it changes the Mishnah completely. The Mishnah means to say that if you tip the scale, so then he's going to get good olam hazeh and olam haba. And the Mishnah in Pei is talking about that it was a balanced scale, and those mitzvahs are special that it's considered a rov. The Marzakasha on Mishnah, is that true? Is our Mishnah right that if you tip the scale to the positive side, so everything's good, you're going to get all mazel, all mava? For a minute, Kasha from a Brisa, which has the exact opposite. Somebody that has majority of merit over his Averis, so they're going to be bad to him. They're going to do bad. He's going to have a bad life.
For having
more
schools.
schuyos, and he gets a bad life. The
Maria.
Doma Kamisha Self Kala Torah Kula. You think that this person burnt the whole Torah. Although he didn't even do one thing. He burnt the whole Torah. He looks like a Rosh Gomer. The way you see he's being treated from heaven, it looks like he's burnt the whole Torah. And if he has most Averis, you look at his situation in life, it seems like, according to what he's living, the way he's being treated, it sounds like he did the whole Torah and he didn't leave out one letter. So it's the opposite. And also the second verse has to be explained also. We don't understand it even either, right?
He has mostly schuyos, and so that's bad for him.
Right. And if he has mostly Averis, then it's going to be good for him.
We don't understand.
You don't understand.
Okay.
Of course, it means and I think that one would say that it means in this world.
Okay.
In order to pay him back for his minority. But it's against our Mishnah. Our Mishnah. Even if we say that, it's against our Mishnah. Our Mishnah says if you tip the scale, you have a good life in this world. And if there says if you have the majority, then you have a bad life in this world in order to get the good world. It doesn't say that. It just says that in Marian law, and the person is Rov Avon, then he's going to have a good life. So there's a question what that means. The translation of the words Masnisin usually means our Mishnah. There's not a guess of probably Masnisa, the Brisa. The question what is referring to? There's a Mishnah and the Brisa. Our Mishnah says that if he does one mitzvah tip the scale, he has a good life. And the Brisa says if he does a mitzvah tip the scale, he has a bad life. And then it says so Masnisin, whichever that means, that they're making for him a good day and a bad day. Yom Tav is a good day, Yom Bish is a bad day. What is the answer? Good day, bad day, what's that all about?
The Avdin means he did.
They're going to do for him. Like it says, the whole Lush is talking about from heaven, Maria and Mativin.
They'll do for him a good day and a bad day.
So what's the answer? So I'll say Taisus Pshat is easier than Rashi. Taisus says that the Brisa that says that it gets the opposite. If he's a good man, he has a bad life. And if he's a bad man, he has a good life. It doesn't mean a whole life. It means once in a while he'll have a good day. It means they're gonna the one who's Rov Averis, once in a while they're gonna give him a good day. That on that day it sounds like he's in Gan Eden, like he must think he's the biggest tzaddik in the world. The way that he's experiencing that day, once in a while, it means they'll give him periods in his life that'll be to pay off his merit. And the person who's the opposite, that he's a good man, he's a tzaddik, he has Rov Schuyos, but they want to help him out and take away to clean him up. So not that his whole life's going to be terrible, but there'll be times in his life that'll be so terrible you think that he's the worst guy in the world, that he did so bad, but not his whole life is like that. Once in a while there'll be such a day, a Yom Tav and a Yom Bish.
Like the question, like most of the question, why do?
Yeah, that was the question. So that question, I'm not sure what the question was. If the question was why once in a while, this will be the answer. But maybe the question was how can you find tzaddikim that they have a terrible life in their whole life? That the Gemara is not answering.
Okay.
If that's okay, that's Taisus Pshat in the Gemara.
Okay.
I can say Rashi Pshat also, but that's easier Taisus Pshat. That's Rabbi's Pshat. Rabbi Amar, Hamari Rabbi Yaakov, the Amar Chamis Vavaya Amaleka. The Brisa is Rabbi Yaakov that says that there's no reward in this world.
Rav Amar.
Rabbi Amar. Hamani Rabbi Yaakov, who's the author of the Brisa? Rabbi Yaakov that says there's no schar for a mitzvah in this world. Our Mishnah doesn't know like Rabbi Yaakov. Our Mishnah there is reward for a mitzvah in the world. Therefore, the good man has a good life. But Rabbi Yaakov says there is no reward for a mitzvah in this world. So therefore, it could be not that necessarily. It doesn't mean to say, I think, going to this shot, it doesn't mean that necessarily every tzaddik is going to have it bad, every Rosh is going to have it good. But it means you could have a person who's Rov Schuyos and still he has a bad life, whatever reason, for a test, whatever it might be. And they can't judge by how his merit is because his merits are not paid back in this world.
Mm-hmm.
Till now, Tesis wants to say that this is mashma. Till now, the Gemara held that was paid back. There's chametz in this world. Rashi's Pshat is gonna doesn't say like that. Rashi's Pshat goes that the whole Gemara is going that there's no reward in this world. But according to Tesis, says the Gemara only Rava says there's no reward in this world. Till now we held there was reward in this world. So once in a while they gave him a punishment for the minority, or that's what Tesis wants. How do you know? How does Rabbi Yaakov get that there's no reward in this world? There's no mitzvah in the Torah that is written in the Torah that it says what the reward is, that Tchias HaMesim is dependent on it. That means that it has to do with Olam Haba. and he's going to say that the rewards that it says in the Torah are not referring to this world. Even the two mitzvahs where it does say reward in this world, they also are referring to Tchis and Mesa. It's not referring to this world. Keep it up, aim, ksiv, by the honoring one's parent, it says that you should have long life and it'll be good for you. And B'shiluach HaKain also it says, sending away the mother, not to take the mother bird. It says you can have it good, to have a long life. How about a person did both of these mitzvahs and he dies on the spot?
Yeah.
If the father asked the son to go up to the top of the house and bring me some birds, and he did what his father wanted, and also he got Shiluach HaKain over there. Over there was a nest of birds, and he sent away the mother in order to take the children. So he's doing keep it of aim and Shiluach HaKain. And he, on the way back, he fell and he died. Where's the good life? Where's the long life? Ella must be Olam Haba. Ella man yitvach l'olam shekol tov.
That's a true story that happened.
The one doesn't know yet. The first one says like a figurative, theoretical case.
Theoretical.
And so how could it be? It must
This
be
is
that the
L'olam
word is
shekol
L'olam Haba. It's the eternal world. It's the eternally good world. But the Gemara says, whoever ever happened? Maybe Taka doesn't happen. The answer is he saw that it happened. Rabbi Yaakov saw that it happened. So from there he learned out that it must be that the Tzchar is talking about the world to come.
That was a story that he went off the therapy.
So that's coming up, but Rabbi Yaakov didn't go off. And he had the teretz. Rabbi Yaakov had the teretz. The Gemara is going to say there was his grandfather who went off. The Gemara is going to say the story. The Dilma, we can go a little bit further.
Yeah.
I'm fine with that.
The Dilma Mahara Ba'Veirahaba. How do you know he's such a big tzaddik? He was doing Kibbutz Aveim, he was doing Shiluach HaKain. Maybe he was thinking about an Aveira. So I'm not sure what the Gemara's Gash is.
What, the son?
The one
that died.
the one who we saw going up the ladder to
And
do
then
Kibbutz
he fell
Aveim,
off the
Shiluach HaKain,
ladder.
fell up and died. Maybe it was because he was thinking of an Aveira.
Okay.
So what was he thinking of an Aveira? What kind of an
Not
Aveira?
sure.
What kind of an Aveira? Rashi says he wasn't doing it Lishma. I'm not sure what Rashi means to say. I think maybe I got Rashi wrong. But Lahoya Libo Lashamayim. His heart wasn't to heaven. That sounds like he wasn't doing it the same Shemayim. I don't know.
Maybe while he's walking up the ladder, he's looking at something that he shouldn't be looking
But he's also doing Kibbutz Aveim and he's also doing
at.
Shiluach
so
HaKain.
maybe
He doesn't-
he wasn't doing it.
But does it take
He
away?
wasn't
Does it take
doing
away
it
from
for-
that?
No, doesn't take away.
So he should get schar of long life. And
No, but he didn't have the kavanah that he was obeying his father.
he had
And
other
he didn't have the
ulterior
kavanah that
motives.
he was doing a mitzvah shlush.
He had
He
ulterior
just
motives.
wants
He had
to get
ulterior
the egg.
motives. Maybe had ulterior. I don't know. But
Okay.
Rashi seems to say that he had ulterior motives. The Gemara continuation doesn't sound like that. The Gemara, I'm not sure in the Gemara. The Gemara answers Machshava Ruah in the Kodesh Baruch Hu B'Saf L'Maisa. When a person intended to do an avera and he didn't do it, Hashem doesn't add it on. He doesn't get punished for the intention that. So now we're getting mixed up. If the point was that he didn't do it L'Shem Shemayim, so or Moshe's suggestion that he had fantasies, sexual fantasies, so then there's nothing to do with the Gemara about planning to do an avera and didn't do it. It's surely an avera to have bad thoughts, and if he didn't do the same Shemayim, he didn't do the same Shemayim. So this Gemara seems to be talking about he was planning. Maybe he was planning to do an avera. He was scheming a bank robbery. So the Gemara says he doesn't get a punishment for scheming if he doesn't actually do it.
Makes the cash stronger.
This is the answer. The Gemara is answering that what we don't care about the thoughts because Hashem doesn't pay him back,
But
punish
it's a
him.
very, what's the very, not the mitzvah. We're talking about a mitzvah, we're doing a mitzvah here.
And
So
he
you should give it the protection.
I'm not following. The Gemara's kasha was maybe the reason why he wasn't protected is because he was thinking of an avera, which means what? He was scheming an avera.
Right.
And the Gemara's answer is he doesn't get punished for scheming an avera. Oh, he
What's
did.
mitzara? Mitzara?
They can combine
No,
it.
so the
Combine it.
question
Oh,
still-
tzarif.
Right, and the question still stands, so why did he die? Why did he fall down and die?
It must be no. So that's good. So it must be that there's no schar. That's where Yaakov derived that there's no schar mitzvah b'hayalma.
Ah,
What happens in this world has nothing to do with a person's merit. Different cheshbonos. The Gemara is the kasha of a Dilma Mahabra Avodah Zarah, but maybe he was thinking planning to do Avodah Zarah. By planning to do Avodah Zarah, the Gemara says that he does get
Oh,
punished even for scheming.
Yeah.
Uksiv, man Tov says basis trouble leave on. A pasuk the Gemara mentioned this pasuk that Hashem seizes them even in their hearts. That means even for thinking Avodah Zarah, to do Avodah Zarah he gets punished. So the answer is that's what Rabbi Yaakov meant. That was Rabbi Yaakov's derived. Isaac died of schar mitzvah b'hayalma. Amai lo agin mitzvah alei ki echid lo leisi the day hero. The schar mitzvah should have been that he shouldn't have been nichshel in the avodah zarah. The Gemara says that one of the schar of mitzvahs is that a person should be protected. They shouldn't do averis. So that's what Yaakov learned from here. If he's doing kibbutz avim, he's doing shluach hakein, and he had a thought of doing avodah zarah, the mitzvah should have protected him that he shouldn't have thought of doing avodah zarah. From here, Yaakov derived that there's no schar mitzvahs in this world. And Rambam says that he's the Bratan of the Brisa that says you can't tell from a person's life if he's getting good or bad. You can't tell. Our Mishnah doesn't know like that. Our Mishnah knows that there is schar mitzvah in this world, and when a person does rogue mitzvahs, he's going to have a good life. Then what's the side problem? First white line. How did it happen? He was doing a mitzvah, and forget about all the other things. He's doing a mitzvah, and shluchim mitzvah shouldn't be damaged. Hasan bali chasan, shani. So the Gemara thinks that maybe Abulaz only means on the way to do the mitzvah. He fell back on the way back. He fell down on the way back. Maybe while he's doing the mitzvah, even though the mitzvah wasn't finished yet, he had to go to bring it to the father. So I'm not sure why he's still called B'chazirasa. He did the Shluch HaKen was B'chazirasa, but
he has to bring it to the father.
so I'm asking that was the father wanted the birds. He asked him to bring the birds. So he went to get the birds. He still didn't bring it yet.
Maybe just asked him to do the mitzvah.
No, he wasn't doing a mitzvah. He wanted to eat supper.
He said, "Bring me the bird. Bring me
the gazelle. Bring me the baby birds." It means he wanted supper.
So then, yeah. So
And
he should have been protected.
Right. So I don't understand the Gemara's step. The Gemara tries to say that only on the way, but the Gemara says it's not true. It's even on the way back. That it's not true. It's protected even on the way back. So how come he wasn't protected? The answer is it was a bad ladder. A bad ladder is no protection. You have to make sure it's a good ladder. The Kaviyah Zeka, that's like called as Kavua Shechiach. It's the dangerous place. It's a dangerous place, even if doing a mitzvah is not protected. Whenever it's Kavua, a fixed place where there's a nezek, then you don't rely on the miracles. That is a big reason to think there's going to be a danger.
He put himself into
a
situation
situation.
he didn't check the ladder.
If it's called the more calls another page.
Very nice.
Amar now goes what Moshe said.
So
Amar
like
Yosef.
when a person goes to South Africa, he shouldn't be expected to be protected because he's saying this.
Because South Africa is a dangerous
Because
place.
it's a dangerous place.
Yeah,
So it shouldn't
exactly.
Oh, wow.
Amar Yosef. Here's the case of Acher. Moshe said there was somebody who saw such a story and he went off. That was Acher. And Yosef says if
He saw the story. He saw that.
he
story?
saw that somebody
A father asked him.
has that, he went to Shloch HaKein, then he died. If
If
he- Well, so if Acher would have started in the pasuk Lahakra Trav Yaakov Bar Barate Lochata, but Yaakov who said this
Wow.
drasha was his grandson. It was his daughter's son. He said the drasha. Maybe they saw the same thing. Maybe it's one time it happened, but he went off and he darshan that it means Olam Haba. What's the story with Acher? Acher Mayhava. What was this Acher about? That's Elisha ben Avuya. Some say that he went off because of this story. So such a story. He saw the tongue of Chutzpah. It's a Tana. There's a Tana Chutzpah Torah. That was his name.
Chutzpah what?
There was a Tana whose name was Chutzpah.
Chutzpah, yeah.
He was the Torah. He was the translated loudspeaker, and he saw, and he was killed. He was when I saw Rugi Malchus, and he saw that a chazir, a pig, was dragging his tongue, the tongue of this great Tana. And he said, how could it be? The mouth that gave out pearls. He used to darshan, he used to be a big darshan, and now he's licking the dust. That turned him off, and he went out in sin. So those are the two possibilities that happened to Acher. And the first story about seeing that somebody died and doing kibbutz avim, he would have darshan like his grandson, he wouldn't have gone off. Okay, I guess we'll start.
Good.
Yeah, Shikara, thank you.
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow at 12 o'clock.
12 o'clock.
Tomorrow's Shoshana around at 12 o'clock?
12